time. I'm very grateful to each and every one of you. Dear devotees, I'll begin with a quote by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada says something in the purport to the first mantra of Sri Ishopanishad. What Prabhupada says, the devotees will read. Akhilesh Krishna, you have a good enough voice, Prabhu. Kindly read loudly and slowly what Srila Prabhupada says.
The words spoken by the Lord are called Aparushaya, which indicates that they are not delivered by any mundane person. A living being who lives in the mundane world has four defects. He is certain to commit mistakes. 1. 2. He is subject to illusion. 3. He has a propensity to cheat others. And 4. His senses are imperfect. No one with these four imperfections can deliver perfect knowledge. The Vedas are not produced by such an imperfect creature.
So, dear devotees, in the very beginning, Srila Prabhupada says, the words spoken by the Lord are called Apaurushaya. Purush means ordinary human. Apurush means somebody who is not an ordinary human. And Bhagavan's words are Apaurushaya, which means they are not delivered by any mundane person. Prabhupada says, four defects are not there. And dear devotees, these four defects are listed by Srila Prabhupada. I will give the Sanskrit names of these four defects and I will explain these four defects. Please repeat after me. The first defect, Brahma. Brahma, dear devotees, is illusion. Illusion means sometimes we cannot understand, we don't know what the reality is and we mistake one thing for another. This defect is called Brahma or illusion. The classic example of Brahma that is given in Vedanta philosophy is that somebody is walking in the dark of the night and suddenly they see a rope and they mistake the rope for something. What do they mistake the rope for, devotees? Snake. Do they know at that point of time that it is a rope? No. They don't even know the reality and they mistake the reality to be something else. This defect is called Brahma. Second defect, dear devotees, please repeat. Pramada. Pramada is when you know the correct thing, but you still end up making a mistake and that is because of inattention. That is called Pramada. The difference between Brahma and Pramad is that in Brahma we don't even know what the reality is. In Pramad we know what the reality is, but we end up making a mistake due to inattention. And many times, dear devotees, in our childhood we might have written English examinations and we knew the correct spelling, but due to inattention we ended up writing the incorrect spelling. Dear devotees, is this Brahma or Pramad? Pramad. So that is a classic example of Pramad. For example, the English word there, T-H-E-I-R, somebody may write T-H-I-E-R. And dear devotees, after coming home, they may realize, oh, I made a mistake in the spelling. They knew the correct spelling, but due to inattention, the main factor, dear devotees, here is what? Inattention. Due to inattention, they end up making a mistake that is called Pramad. Third is called as, please repeat, Vipralipsa. Vipralipsa is when you know you are making a mistake, but you still deliberately make a mistake. And that is often done to cheat others. That is called Vipralipsa. A classic example of Vipralipsa, I'll tell you. For example, there is a soldier who is standing beside a very deep river. And the soldier doesn't know whether I can cross the river by myself or not. And then the soldier asks a villager nearby, can I cross this river by myself? The villager knows that he is an enemy soldier. So what should the villager say? No, you cannot cross, or yes, you can cross.
Yes.
See, all of you also. Dear devotees, although he knows that the soldier will not survive the current of the river, but he still says, yeah, go ahead. You'll easily make it to the other side. And dear devotees, The soldier goes in with his horse, and the horse and the soldier both are driven away by the current of the river. This defect is called vipralipsa, cheating tendency. And if these three are not present, then the overarching defect, fourth defect, is always present. Dear devotees, please repeat after me the name of the fourth defect. Karana Patava. Karana means instrument. Instrument means senses. Our senses are instruments. And apatava, apatu, they are not expert. So Karana Patava, the non-expertise of the senses. We cannot see or hear things that are far away, or we cannot see things that are very close to our eyes. This, dear devotees, that I am holding in my hand is example of Karana Patava. I hope you are able to understand. Huh? I need this to remove to a certain degree my Karana Patava. So there are four defects in a human being, but these four defects are not to be found in one personality. Which personality, dear devotees? Bhagavan doesn't have four defects. So what is today's presentation about?
Imperfection is his defect.
He also has the same.
Yeah. So dear devotees, Bhagavan has no defects. Alright, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Well, that's it. Okay. Should we pause here? No, we should not pause. Of course, dear devotees, we'll come to Bhagavan, but first and foremost, dear devotees, we should understand that Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, please repeat after me. Brahma Pramad Vipralipsa Karana Patava Arsha Vigya Vakye Nahi Dosha E So he lists the Sanskrit names, dear devotees: Brahma, Pramad, Vipralipsa, Karana Patava. Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says. Now, Akhilesh Krishna Prabhu will read the translation, dear devotees. Please try to note something about the translation. Alright? Please read the translation, Prabhu, by Srila Prabhupada.
Mistakes, illusions, cheating, and defective perceptions do not occur in the sayings of the authoritative sages.
Did you notice something about the translation? Brahma is translated as mistakes, and Pramad is translated as when in fact Brahma is what, dear devotees? And Pramad is mistake. Oh my goodness. And now you can look it up in your Veda base. Alright, dear devotees, I didn't change the translation or anything. It's as it is, I am quoting. It's a very important point, dear devotees, that sometimes a doubt arises in our mind. Well, alright, Bhagavan may not have any mistakes, but what about the pure devotee? It's a very important yet very sensitive matter, dear devotees. What about the pure devotee? Does the pure devotee ever exhibit any mistakes?
Translation says no.
Translation.
It also says yes.
Yeah, it's a very, very difficult matter. And it's such a difficult matter, the matter was once put forth in front of Srila Prabhupada himself. Srila Prabhupada was asked in a morning walk on 8th April 1975. His Holiness Jayadvait Maharaj is the person asking the questions. Prabhupada gives the reply. So I'll speak the statements that Maharaj spoke, and Akhilesh Krishna Prabhu, you speak what Srila Prabhupada spoke. They know everything and they are perfect in everything. But sometimes, from our material viewpoint, we see some discrepancies. Just like we think that
Because material viewpoint, the viewpoint is wrong, therefore you find discrepancies.
so we should think that we have the defect.
Yes, Acharya is explained. Bhakti Samsnat, one who is preaching the cult of devotional service, is Acharya. then why should you find any discrepancy?
Just we see, for instance, sometimes the Acharya may seem to forget something or not to know something. So, from our point of view, if someone has forgotten, that is
No, then
an imperfection.
that is not the. Then you do not understand. Acharya is not God, omniscient. He is servant of God. His business is to preach bhakti cult. That is Acharya.
And that is the perfection.
That is the perfection. Hare Krishna.
So, we have a misunderstanding about what perfection is.
Yes, perfection is here. How he is preaching bhakti cult. That's all.
So, dear devotees, in this particular conversation, Srila Prabhupada makes a very important point that sometimes, from an external point of view, it is possible that we may notice some apparent mistakes in the writings or sayings of the Acharya, and Prabhupada says that is because the Acharya is not Bhagavan. Dear devotees, Acharya is not Bhagavan. We don't directly equate Acharya to Bhagavan. And you may go to an Acharya, you cannot go to an Acharya and ask a question, how many stars in the sky tonight? Or how many particles of sand on the earth? Dear devotees, those questions you can ask Bhagavan. But those questions you do not ask the Acharya, because Prabhupada says Acharya's perfection is that Acharya is speaking the message of bhakti. And because Acharya is speaking the message of bhakti, therefore the Acharya is perfect. Dear devotees, the Acharya is perfect because Acharya is speaking from the Vedas, and the Vedas are perfect. I hope you are able to understand. That is the reason why the Acharya's speech is perfect. So we have a very mature view of how do we see the Acharya. Before we look into whether Krishna is perfect or imperfect, first let us try to have a very mature view of how to understand the pure devotee. Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan in his literature Siddhanta Darpana makes the same point. I'll sing, please repeat after me. जीववाक्येषु लभ्यन्ते जीवधर्मा भ्रमादयः वेदे तु नैव ते सन्ति सर्वज्ञवचनोच्चये जीववाक्येषु. Dear devotees, what is the meaning of Vakya? Words. Statements. Jiva Vakyeshu. In all statements of all Jivas, whether conditioned Jiva or liberated Jiva, it is possible, Labhyante, you may find Jiva Dharma, the characteristics of a Jiva in this material world. Brahma Adi. That is, you may sometimes find even some mistakes. But these mistakes are not present in one source, dear devotees. Vede tu naiva. In which source are the mistakes not present, dear devotees? Vedas. In the four Vedas, in the Shastras, these defects are not there because the Shastras are Sarvagya Vachana Uchchaya. They are collection of statement of the omniscient Supreme Lord. Because the Shastras contain the words of the omniscient, all-knowing Supreme Lord, and therefore, since the Acharya speaks from Shastra, therefore the Acharya speech is also considered perfect when the Acharya is speaking from Shastra. Please read the translation, Prabhu.
In the statements made by all living entities, we may find inherent faults with illusion, etc. These faults are a part of the existence of all living entities. Such faults, however, are not present in the Vedas, since they are the words of the omniscient Supreme Lord.
So, dear devotees, there is only one literature in this world which is free from four defects. Which literature is that, dear devotees? Vedas. And anybody who speaks from the Vedas, if you are speaking exactly as it is, your speech is also free from four defects. But the moment we start speaking about other subject matters in this world, dear devotees, the moment we start discussing those subject matters, because the framework of the material world itself is defective, therefore you may find that certain discrepancies may enter into the speech of anyone in the material world, dear devotees. Therefore, dear devotees, it is very important for us to understand that we need to have faith in Guru and faith in Krishna that is very mature. Dear devotees, mature faith in Guru is given by the previous acharyas. The Guru is perfect because the Guru speaks the message of which Shastra, dear devotees? Vedic Shastra. And Vedic Shastra is free from 4 defects. And therefore, the Guru who is speaking from Vedic Shastras, his speech is also free from 4 defects. But sometimes we see apparent defects in the Guru because the Guru is operating in the framework of the material world. The Guru is perfect, the Vedic Shastra is perfect, but there is one thing imperfect in this world. The entire material world itself is what, dear devotees? Imperfect. And because the framework of the material world is defective, everything in the material world undergoes 6 changes. Please repeat the 6 changes after me. Birth, existence, growth, transformation, dwindling, death. So in this imperfect material world, dear devotees, the Acharya comes and starts speaking the message of the perfect Vedic literature. And because the Acharya speaks the message of the perfect Vedic literature, but sometimes is operating within the imperfect material world, therefore you may sometimes see some apparent mistakes. Another reason, dear devotees, sometimes the modes of communication used in the world are defective. Dear devotees, which language did Srila Prabhupada mainly write his books in? English. Now, English at the time of Shakespeare was a completely different language. If Shakespeare were to come here today, he will say, I don't know what you're speaking. I don't know what language you're speaking. Every 200 years, English changes. And in English, there are some words which are self-contradictory. I'll explain one such word. Dear devotees, one such word is sanction. What is the meaning of sanction?
Approved.
To approve or to disapprove?
Both.
Please tell me.
Approved.
Depends on the
Till
context.
last year it was approved.
Try to understand, the Acharya is writing books in a language which has such defects. Whose fault? Is it the fault of the Acharya or the language, dear devotees? The language. The language itself is defective, dear devotees. There is one language which is written in the Vedas. Which language are the Vedas written in, dear devotees? Oh, that language you won't find. That language you won't find. So sometimes the modes of communication are themselves imperfect in the world, and the Acharya has to use those modes of communication. And finally, sometimes the Acharya may quote an authority in the material world, and that material authority may be imperfect. For example, somebody may ask a question. Dear devotees, please tell me, is Pluto a planet?
Both.
Yes.
We read yes.
It depends upon which book you read.
Oh wow. So dear devotees, sometimes people go to the Acharya and ask questions similar to this. I'll tell you the answer, dear devotees. Alright, please look at the screen. What does the news report say?
Yeah. Pluto is the planet. So he's a NASA scientist.
Yeah. This is an article from 2021, dear devotees. I hope all of you agree now. Pluto is a planet? Yes or no?
Yeah, one did
Of course.
Let's ask ChatGPT.
Are you, dear devotees?
That's 91 years.
Immediately, dear devotees, another article says, what does it say, dear devotees?
Why is Pluto no longer a planet?
So somebody comes and asks questions regarding the material world to the Acharya, and the Acharya may quote one of these 2 authorities. Now please tell me, whose defect is it? Is it the defect of the Acharya or the material world? Whose defect it is? Material world. So dear devotees, mature faith in the Guru is that the Guru is perfect because the Guru is speaking from the perfect source. And what is the perfect source, dear devotees? Vedas. That is mature faith in the Guru. And any apparent imperfections you see are because of the defective framework of the material world. I hope you are able to understand. Modes of communications are defective, material world is defective, and the Acharya is coming in this defective world and trying to speak the message of Sri Krishna. Dear devotees, therefore Sri Krishna says that even if you notice any faults in the Acharya, don't take those faults seriously at all. There is one name of a student in Sanskrit, many of us might have heard, Chhatra. Dear devotees, you know what is Chhatra? Student. So in Sanskrit, Chhatra has a meaning. Chhatra means Guru dosha achhadanam chhatram tachilamasya. To hide the faults of a guru, to keep an umbrella over the faults of a guru is called Chhatra. And one who constantly holds this Chhatra is called as what, dear devotees? Chhatra. That is the meaning of Chhatra. So the disciple is somebody who, even if they notice certain apparent faults in the guru, they do something. What do they do, dear devotees? They hide it. Chhatra. Take an umbrella and hide it, dear devotees. This is called as Chhatra. Sri Krishna also speaks the same thing in the 11th canto. Sri Vyasadeva describes Acharyam mam vijaniya navamanyet karhiche namartya buddhya suyeta sarvadeva mayo guru. Sri Krishna says to Uddhav, Acharyam mam vijaniyan. Vijaniyan, know that Acharya is mam, Acharya is me. The devotees, Acharya is a representative of me. Literal meaning is, know the Acharya to be non-different from me. Acharyam mam vijaniyan, know the Acharya as me. This is the literal meaning. But commenting upon it, the Gaudiya Vaishnava commentator says, mam means madhyam. Know the Acharya as belonging to me. I hope you are able to understand. Because we have both understandings. Sakshad haritvena samasta shastrair uktas tatha bhavyata eva sadvi. Sakshad hari. The Guru is directly whom? Hari. Kintu. But more important than that. Prabhor yaha priya eva tasya. More important than being Hari, he is belonging to Hari. He is dear to Hari. Therefore, Acharya mam vijaniyan, know the Acharya as a dear devotee of mine. Na avamanyeta karhichit, never disrespect the Acharya at any point of time. And na martya buddhya asuyeta, and never envy the Acharya by thinking him to be martya, ordinary mortal. Sometimes people think that the Guru is only, he's just 30 years senior to me. If I would have been present 30 years ago, I would have been in the same position. This is what some people think. So, na martya buddhya asuyeta. So, don't think of the Acharya as an ordinary mortal, and don't envy the Acharya by thinking that he is just an ordinary person, because Sarva Deva Mayo Guru, the Guru is a representative of all the Devatas. Alright, don't envy, just as you don't envy the Devatas, don't envy the Guru. Here is the translation, Prabhu. Kindly read what the translation says about the Acharya.
Know that the Guru is very dear to me. He should never be disobeyed or disrespected. Never envy him, thinking him to be a mere mortal, for he is the embodiment of all Devatas.
Dear devotees, commenting upon this, Sri Sanatana Goswami says, he says, Na asuyeta ma dosha drishtim kuryat. Ma dosha drishtim kuryat. Do not envy the Guru, which means that don't look upon Guru with a vision to find faults, dear devotees. Dear devotees, once again, please tell me, the Guru is perfect because the Guru is speaking from which literature? Vedas and Shastras. Therefore, the Guru is perfect. And if there are any apparent defects that we see in the Guru, are those the defects of the Guru or the defects of the material world, dear devotees? Material world. That is mature faith in the Guru. So that mature faith is inculcated by Srimad Bhagavatam and all the previous acharyas within us. Hey, but today's topic is not about Guru. Today's topic is about Bhagavan. What about Bhagavan? The devotees. Bhagavan is the person from whom all the Vedas came. And the Vedas are what, devotees? Perfect or imperfect? Perfect. So Bhagavan should be perfect. And Sri Rupa Goswami therefore confirms Bhagavan's body is free from errors and defects. Please repeat after me. Vaishnav Tantre Ashtadasha Mahadoshay Rahita Bhagavatanu Sarvaishwaryamayi Satya Vijnanananda Rupini Vaishnav Tantra. Shri Rupa Goswami is writing this verse in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which we call Nectar of Devotion. Shri Rupa Goswami says Ashtadasha. Does anybody know what is Ashtadasha, dear devotees? 18. Ashtadasha Mahadoshai. Rahita Bhagavat Tanu. Body of Bhagavan is Rahita, free from how many defects, dear devotees? 18. But we studied how many defects? 4. Shri Rupa Goswami says those 4 are the most major ones. And major ones are 18. Minor you can find infinite. I hope you are able to understand. Huh? But major defects, how many are there, dear devotees? 18. Minor defects, you can find any defect, like somebody's teeth are yellow. You can say that is a defect, isn't it? Or you can say somebody did not wake up in time, dear devotees, that's a defect. We want main defects, dear devotees. And how many main defects are there, dear devotees? 18. And Rahita Bhagavatanu, Bhagavan's body is free from those 18 major defects because Sarvaishwaryamayi, Bhagavan's body has all opulences, all potencies. Satya, Vijnana, Ananda Rupini, and Bhagavan's body is full of knowledge, bliss and eternity. So here is the translation. Please read the translation, Prabhu.
In the Vaishnava Tantra, it is said, the body of Bhagavan is free from the 18 major faults found in mortals. It is full of all opulences and is the personification of truth, realized knowledge and bliss.
So dear devotees, the conclusion, is Bhagavan's having any defects?
No.
Then I should change the title of the presentation. Imperfections of Bhagavan or perfections of Bhagavan? Please tell me. Perfection? Yeah, that should have been the... Maybe I made a mistake in framing the presentation. Dear devotees. Alright, let's have a look at the 18 major defects. Alright, and please try to see if those defects are present within us, not within others. Alright, within us, dear devotees, let's try to see if those 18 defects are present within us. Sri Rupa Goswami is going to describe. I'll give the Sanskrit names and then I will give the English explanation. Now, I also wanted my own presentation to be imperfect. Alright, I didn't want my presentation to be perfect. So, in this, I have introduced one defect purposely. Alright, let's see who notices. Dear devotees. First defect, dear devotees, the 18 faults of conditioned souls are described in Vishnu Yamal as follows. Please repeat first. Moha. Moha is perplexity. Dear devotees, sometimes a person doesn't, I don't know what is going on. I hope you are able to understand. What is the name of this defect, dear devotees? Moha. Perplexity. Okay. Second, please repeat. Tandra. Tandra is sleeping. Dear devotees, how many of us go to sleep? Everyone. So we are defective.
But we have to sleep, right?
We have to sleep. Which means we have to be what, dear devotees? Imperfect. Okay. Third, Brahma. What is Brahma, dear devotees? Oh, dear devotees. So what should Brahma be, dear devotees? Illusion. But I have purposely written here as what? So that is a mistake on my part, dear devotees. I wanted the presentation to have a little spot of imperfection. So I have left it there as it is. Alright? Brahma is actually what, dear devotees? Illusion. Fourth, please repeat. Ruksharasata. Ruksharasata is artificial attachment without actual love. Sometimes we just show artificial, Hare Krishna Prabhu, how are you? Are you okay? Huh? And behind him that that is artificial attachment without actual love. That is called Ruksharasata.
Facebook love.
Dear devotees, next please repeat. Kama Ulbanaha. So sometimes we experience troublesome lust in love affairs in the world. We suffer immensely, dear devotees. Our heart burns. It is called Ulbanaha, burning Kama, lust, burning lust. Dear devotees, that is Kama Ulbanaha. Dear devotees, next please repeat after me. Lolata. Lolata. Lolata is fickleness. Our mind is sometimes not able to settle in one point. Our mind is always thinking, should I do this, should I do that? Dear devotees, that is called as Lolata, fickleness. 7, please repeat. Mother. Mother is sometimes intoxicated. We don't speak properly to other people. We behave in an intoxicated manner. That is called mother. 8th, Matsarya. Matsarya is envy. Matsarya is often translated as the inability to see the progress of somebody else. That is what is known as Matsarya. Dear devotees, 9th. Himsa. Himsa, we all know, dear devotees. Himsa is violence, the ultimate solution to everything in the material world. Himsa. A lot of it is going on nowadays, dear devotees. Himsa, violent behavior. 10th, dear devotees. Kheda. Kheda is weariness. In general, we get tired as the day passes. Even if we don't work hard, just by the passing of the day, we become tired. That is called kheda. You don't need to work hard to get tired nowadays. Alright? Just sit in one place and get tired. That also happens. So that sort of tiredness is called as what, dear devotees? Kheda. Alright, 11th. Parishrama. Now this is the real type of tiredness that happens because of overwork. Parishrama is due to hard work, you get tired. 12th. Asatya. What asatya, we all know, dear devotees. Asatya is speaking lies. Dear devotees, please raise your hands. How many of you never speak asatya? Anybody who raises his hand is speaking right now, dear devotees. I hope you are able to. So, asatya is lying. It is said that a human on an average speaks 3 lies every day. On an average. On an average, we speak 3 lies every day. Okay, so asatya is one of the 18 defects. 13th, Krodha. Krodha, dear devotees, is anger. Anger happens due to 2 reasons. First, due to not getting what we want, and second, due to getting what we don't want. So both are reasons for anger. Due to not getting what we want and due to getting what we don't want. Alright, driving on the street, got a ticket by the police, you got something which you did not want. Alright, Krodha. I hope you are able to understand. So, and then there are many things you want but you don't get. So, wanted to buy a brand new Tesla car, couldn't get the money, dear devotees. Krodha. I hope you are able to understand. Krodha. So, Krodha is anger. 14th, Akanksha. Akanksha is, I want this, I want that, I want something in life. Otherwise, I can't be happy. So, that is called Akanksha. 15th sounds similar but is different. Ashanka. Ashanka is doubt. What is this person thinking about me? What are they thinking right now? Is this the person who cheated me? Dear devotees, Ashanka. So, doubt. 16th, Vishwa Vibrama. Sometimes we forget ourselves in the material world. We become fully involved in material life and we forget the soul. That is Vishwa Vibrama. 17th, Vishamatva. Partiality. We are all partial towards family members, dear devotees. We have Vishamatva. There is the Sanskrit term Sama. Sama is equal. And then the opposite Visama. And Visama becomes Vishama. Vishama is we are biased or partial. Dear devotees, and 18th, Parapeksha. We are dependent on others. Nobody here is self-made. The first 20 years of our life we spent utterly dependent on parents. These are how many defects, dear devotees? 18 major defects. Minor you can find many. Alright? So these are 18 major defects. Minor you can find many. He snores at night. I hope you're able to understand the minor defects. Okay. So, but these are 18 major defects. Now, dear devotees, are these defects present in Bhagavan?
Yes, partial.
Yes, see, I can't get all of you on the same page. Sri Rupa Goswami said, Ashtadasha Mahadoshai Rahita. The body of Bhagavan is free from how many defects, dear devotees? 18. So why are you speaking against Sri Rupa Goswami? You should say, dear devotees. Once again I'll ask, are these 18 defects present in the body of Bhagavan? No.
But he shows sometimes.
See, again speaking against the main verse. The verse says the body of Bhagavan is free from 18 defects, isn't it?
Yes.
So dear devotees, once again I'll ask. Okay? Does Bhagavan have these 18 defects? See, nobody. Thrice I have asked and people are not giving a clear answer, dear devotees. Yes, Ramchandra Prabhu says yes. Prabhu will end up speaking against Sri Rupa Goswami. I'll take you back to the previous slide where Rupa Goswami is saying something. In the Vaishnava Tantra it says the body of Bhagavan is free from 18 major defects. And here I listed all the 18 major defects. Here are the 18 major defects that Sri Rupa Goswami gives. Dear devotees, when Sri Rupa Goswami was writing down this verse, there was somebody sitting right next to him. Shri Jiva Goswami. He was fanning Shri Rupa Goswami at that point of time. Because when Shri Rupa Goswami was writing Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Shri Jiva Goswami was sitting next to him and fanning him. Shri Jiva Goswami immediately asked a question. And Shri Rupa Goswami gave him an answer, which Shri Jiva Goswami wrote down in his notes. Fortunately, today we have the notes of Shri Jiva Goswami. Would you like to hear what Shri Jiva Goswami wrote down?
Yes.
Dear devotees, one sentence Shri Jiva Goswami writes. Please repeat after me. Bhakta prema sambandhena tu ete cha gunatvaya kalpante. Bhakta prema sambandhena, in connection with his prema for his devotees, these faults are seen in Bhagavan, but gunatvaya kalpante, but these faults ultimately end up being his sweet qualities. Dear devotees, there is only one reason why Krishna will accept faults. And that reason is mentioned here, dear devotees. What is the reason? Bhakta prema. Only out of love of his devotees does Krishna accept faults. There is no other reason why Krishna will accept any fault, dear devotees. These 18 defects that we saw are not present in Bhagavan Vishnu. Bhagavan Vishnu doesn't sleep. His name is Animisha. He doesn't even blink his eyes. Bhagavan Vishnu accepts Yoga Nidra, which is not sleeping, dear devotees. These 18 are not present in Bhagavan Vishnu, but most of them are seen in Bhagavan Krishna. And the only reason, dear devotees, is out of prema of the devotees. Now Sri Jiva Goswami is not going to just make a blanket statement like that without explaining. So dear devotees, let us see how many of the 18 defects are present in Sri Krishna. But there is only one reason why Krishna will show these defects. Why? Bhakta Prema, Bhakta Vatsalya. Sri Jiva Goswami first says the reason is for love of his devotees. He quotes a verse from the Bhagavatam. Please repeat after me. Anugrahaya bhaktana manusham dehamastitah bhajate tadrishi krida yah shrutva tatparo bhave. Anugrahaya bhaktanam, for giving mercy to his devotees. Manusham deham astitah, Bhagavan has eternally accepted Manusha deha. What is Manusha deha, dear devotees? Human body. And when Bhagavan accepts a human body, Bhagavan accepts a human body as it is. And that means that Bhagavan accepts a human body along with all the defects of the human body. Anugrahaya bhaktanam manusham deham astitah bhajate tadrishi krida, and then he exhibits all those pastimes. Yaha shrutva, on hearing those pastimes, we all feel, arey, this Bhagavan is just like me. I hope you are able to understand. This Bhagavan is just like me. I feel belongingness to him. This is not that distant Bhagavan. Dear devotees, this Bhagavan is just very close to my heart. Yaha shrutva tat paro bhavet. Hearing those pastimes, one becomes very dedicated to Bhagavan. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 33rd chapter, verse 36. Prabhu, kindly read the translation.
He assumes a human-like body to show mercy to his devotees, and he engages in such human pastimes in order to attract those who hear about them to become dedicated to him.
So, dear devotees, in this way, there is only one reason why Bhagwan exhibits defects: out of love of his devotees, and out of love of his devotees, he accepts a human body. And that body is Shri Krishna, dear devotees. Now let's see how many of these 18 defects are present in Shri Krishna. Somebody should do the counting. Alright, Prabhu, your good name? Gopal Prabhu? Gopal Govind Prabhu. Alright, Prabhu, will you count the number of defects? Alright, so please keep a count, your responsibility. Take care, Prabhu. First, dear devotees, Moha. Moha is what, dear devotees? Perplexity. Sri Jiva Goswami gives an example from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 13th chapter, verse 16th. Tato vatsana drishtvaitya puline picha vatsapan ubhavapi vane krishno vichikaya samantatah. Dear devotees, this is that pastime where somebody stole the calves and cowherd boys. Who stole the calves and cowherd boys? Shri Brahma stole. Tato vatsan adrishtva. Then, not seeing the calves, etya pulinepi, and Bhagwan came on the banks of the Yamuna and tried to find the cowherd boys. Vatsapan, cowherds are also not there. Neither the calves are there, nor the boys are there. Ubhavapi vane Krishno. Both of them are not in the forest. Krishno vichikaya. In Sanskrit, it's a vichikaya. In Hindi, we say chakit ho gaya. I hope you are able to understand. Vichikaya. He became little perplexed at that point of time. Dear devotees, this perplexity is displayed only for the pleasure of his near and dear ones who will hear these pastimes. Alright, dear devotees, here is the translation. Prabhu, kindly read the translation from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Thereafter, when Krishna was unable to find the calves, he returned to the bank of the river. But there he was also unable to see the cowherd boys. Thus he began to search for both the calves and the boys, as if he could not understand what had happened.
As if he could not understand. Dear devotees, classic example of which defect? Bolo, which defect, dear devotees? Moha. So this is Moha, dear devotees. How many till now, dear devotees? One. So Bhagwan has at least how many defects? One defect. Chalo. Bhagwan sounds somewhat like us. Dear devotees, now we can relate to him. Dear devotees, next. Sri Jiva Goswami says we will take 3 defects together now. Alright? Sleep, which was Tandra, weariness and fatigue. Weariness is just by the passing of the day, fatigue is Parishram. Weariness is Kheda and fatigue is Parishram. Dear devotees, a single verse to describe all 3 in the 10th canto, 15th chapter, verse 16. Please repeat. Kvachit pallava talpeshu niyuddha shrama karshitah vrikshamula shrayah shete gopot sangopabarhanah. Niyuddha Shramakar, you can see in the right, Niyuddha Shramakar. Bhagwan was very tired by wrestling with his friends. Dear devotees, Krishna was tired after wrestling with his friends. So, Kvachit, sometimes, Pallava Talpeshu, the boys will make Pallava Talpa. Pallava is soft leaf and Talpa is a bed. They will make a bed of soft leaves and twigs. And Vriksha Mula Ashraya Shete. Bhagwan would take shelter of the base of a tree and Shete. Shete means Bhagwan would sleep. Gopa Utsanga Upabarhana. And when he would do that, he would take the lap of a Gopa as his pillow, dear devotees. And Bhagwan slept at that point of time. Please tell me, dear devotees, these three are false. Yes or no, dear devotees?
Yes.
Does Bhagavan Vishnu ever get tired?
No.
Bolo, yes or no?
No.
Does Krishna get tired? No, Krishna doesn't get tired?
Yes.
Of course he gets tired. Please, Prabhu, read the translation so devotees are convinced about Krishna's tiredness.
Sometimes Lord Krishna grew tired from fighting and lay down at the base of a tree, resting upon a bed made of soft twigs and buds and using the lap of a cowherd friend as his pillow.
So, dear devotees, please tell me, does Bhagavan Vishnu get tired? Shri Krishna?
Yes.
Of course. So, dear devotees, this is another imperfection in Bhagavan. Dear devotees, you can see an approximate painting of this. Bhagavan sometimes becomes tired. Acha, I'd like to ask you a simple question. How many of us wish to fall in love with a Bhagavan who never makes a mistake, is all perfect, never speaks a lie, never deviates from the path of dharma? Please raise your hand. Nobody? Achha, how many of us wish to fall in love with a Bhagavan who makes mistakes, speaks lies, constantly complains, cries falsely? Please raise your hand. Please raise your hand. Oh, wow. Dear devotees, you came to ISKCON looking for perfection or imperfection? What did you come looking for? It seems that you came looking for something else, but now you are seeking something else altogether different. Dear devotees.
Came for Krishna. Krishna has everything. All imperfections have been moved from material to Krishna.
Oh, wow. See,
We want to learn from the supreme thief how to become a thief.
oh yeah, that's a Gaudiya Vaishnava. Perfectly eligible for entering Krishna's friends. Dear devotee, this mindset, it has. Prabhu, you can fill the application form, Prabhu. The mindset is perfect. So, Prabhu, how many?
4 I done just one son.
How many till now?
4.
You have to keep a count, otherwise there will be another defect in the class. All right, take it? 4 till now, dear devotees. 5th is what, dear devotees? Brahma. This time I translated correctly. What is Brahma, dear devotees? Illusion. And now, dear devotees, for every defect I'll not speak the Sanskrit verse, I'll give the reference. So you can look up the Sanskrit verse. If you want to look up the Sanskrit verse, here is what the translation says. Prabhu, kindly read the translation. This is 10th canto, 8th chapter, verse number 22.
When Krishna and Balaram, with the strength of their legs, crawled in the muddy places created in Braja by cow dung and cow urine, their crawling resembled the crawling of serpents, and the sound of their ankle bells was very charming. Very much pleased by the sound of other people's ankles bells, they used to follow these people as if going to their mothers. But when they saw that these were other people, they became afraid and returned to their real mothers, Yashoda and Rohini.
So sometimes Krishna and Balaram in their childhood, when they were crawling, they would see some elderly people who had similar features to Yashoda and Rohini. They would start following them as if they are going to Yashoda and Rohini. After some time, they'll realize, oh, this is not Yashoda and Rohini. Then they'll quickly turn back and go to their homes. Dear devotees. Classic example of which defect, dear devotees? Brahma. So that is Brahma, dear devotees, in Bhagavan's body. And then, dear devotees, Sri Jiva Goswami says there are, Acha Prabhu, how many till now?
5.
5. Now, please keep a good count. Very nice, Prabhu. Huh? He says 2 more, dear devotees, artificial attachment and troublesome lust. Huh? Sri Jiva Goswami says about this, he says, Ruksha rasata nama prema sambandham vina ragha. Ruksha rasata is artificial attachment without genuine love. He says, sa tu nasti eva. This doesn't exist in Krishna. This fault does not exist in Krishna. If Krishna loves somebody, he loves somebody. And if Krishna doesn't love somebody, he does not pretend. He does not pretend to love somebody. A classic example of this was seen when Krishna acted as the Shanti Dut, peacemaker between the Kauravas and the Pandavas. And when he arrived in Hastinapur, Duryodhan requested him, please accept food at my place. I have a very good kitchen, expert chefs. Please accept food at my place. And at that time, Sri Krishna told him, Duryodhan, there are only two reasons why somebody will accept food at somebody else's place. First reason, if there is sneha, affection between both of them. And second reason, if there is an emergency. And Krishna told Duryodhan upfront, Duryodhan, I know you don't have any sneha for me, any affection for me. And Duryodhan, right now I am not in any emergency. I will not eat. So where will you eat? I will eat at the home of Vidur. That Shudra. You will eat at the home of that Shudra. Yes. Because that Shudra has something for me. What does he have? Sneha. He has that affection for me. So I will eat at the home of that Shudra who is my devotee. But I will not eat at your home. So, Ruksharasata is not present in him. Dear devotees. Sri Jiva Goswami says, Ulbano dukkhadaha kamo laukikaha. Lust of the material world is troublesome. However, in connection with him, there is only prema, there is no troublesome lust. Lust doesn't burn him, dear devotees. So these two are not present in Bhagwan Shri Krishna. Fortunately, Bhagwan Shri Krishna does not have all the 18 defects of the conditioned souls. Alright? But till now, Prabhu, till now, how many total did we cover? 7. Alright? 7 covered till now. Let's move ahead. Next is fickleness. Dear devotees, very interesting. Prabhu, kindly read. Fickleness is so much, Sri Shukadeva Goswami starts complaining. Please read, Prabhu.
When Mother Yashoda and Rohini were unable to protect the babies from calamities threatened by horned cows, by fire, by animals with claws and teeth such as monkeys and dogs and cats, and by thorns, swords and other weapons on the ground, they were always in anxiety, and their household engagements were disturbed. At that time, they were fully equipoised in the transcendental ecstasy known as the distress of material affection.
Maternal.
Distress of maternal affection, for this was aroused within their minds.
Dear devotees, Krishna and Balram in their childhood, when they started walking on their 2 feet, they were so fickle. They gave so much trouble to their parents. Sri Shukadeva Goswami describes, sometimes they would go in the cowshed in front of the bull with the largest horns. They will make a funny face in front of that bull. Dear devotees. And when Mother Yashoda would go try to protect him, he would run away. He would find that there is a fire burning in the kitchen. He loves to put his hand in the flames of the fire, dear devotees. And then sometimes he would see an animal with sharp teeth such as monkey. He would call the monkey, say, come here. The monkey would come and then he would tell the monkey, open your mouth. And then he would count if monkey has all the proper teeth in place, dear devotees. This is the kind of child he was. And sometimes, dear devotees, he will see that there is a happy bird walking on the, on the path. A peacock is walking happily, minding its own business. But how can Krishna let the peacock mind his own business? So Krishna will go silently from behind the peacock, dear devotees. And after silently going behind the peacock, Krishna suddenly grab the peacock. Peacock becomes startled, starts flying, dear devotees, and Krishna will enjoy his limited flight on Peacock Airways. So this is what he did. Then, dear devotees, sometimes he will jump in the water and tell the friends, tell my parents he's drowning. Alright, in this way, so much trouble. And sometimes he will find a thorny bush and put his hand inside the thorny bush. In this way, so much trouble. Mother Yashoda and Rohini lost their minds. It said, their household engagements were disturbed. You can know there is a child in the home. When you enter the home, you know there is a child in the home. So don't worry if your house is disturbed because of children. Evam parampara praptam. This confidential knowledge was received in Guru Parampara. Dear devotees. Here is an approximate painting of what's going on, dear devotees. You can see here. So, how? Acha. There's a very wonderful commentator on the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. His name is Sri Harisuri. He says, Bhagavan is doing all these activities for one reason. One very important reason, dear devotees. Bhagavan is playing with the bulls. In the future, he knows he has to kill a bull Arishtasur. Bhagavan is playing with fire. In future, he knows he has to swallow the forest fire not once but twice. Bhagavan is jumping in the water because in future he has to fight somebody in water. Who, dear devotees? Kali. Bhagavan is playing with animals with sharp teeth because in future he has to kill animals with sharp teeth such as Aghasur. Bhagavan is playing with birds because in future he has to kill a bird, Bakasur. And Bhagavan is putting his hands in the thorns because in future he has to remove all the thorn-like things from the surface of the earth. And because practice makes perfect, therefore Bhagavan's practice began right in his childhood. Devotees. So this is what is going on at this point of time. Acha, how many defects, Prabhu?
8.
8. Let's have 3 more, dear devotees. Intoxication, envy, violence. Intoxication is mother, envy is matsarya, violence is himsa. Sri Jiva Goswami gives an example of intoxication. As Krishna respectfully greets his well-wishing friends, his eyes roll slightly as from intoxication. Sometimes Bhagavan will meet his friend and the friend will say, how are you, Krishna? And Krishna will say, yeah, I'm good, how are you? They're like rolling his eyes, yeah, I'm good, how are you? Today are you doing okay? Yeah, I'm doing good. So dear devotees, sometimes he'll behave in this intoxicated manner. Next is envy. Does Bhagavan have envy, dear devotees?
Yes.
Envy is to not tolerate the progress of others. When Krishna saw that Indra is about to rain heavily on Vrindavan, Indra doesn't look upon Vrindavan with a good vision. Krishna said something. Prabhu, please read what Krishna said at that point of time.
Indra is proud of his opulence, and out of foolishness he falsely considers himself the Lord of the universe. I will now destroy such ignorance.
So dear devotees, this is I will show him. Now I will. अभी बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया नहीं यहाँ से. So अभी दिखाता हूँ. I hope that is envy, dear devotees. This is example of envy as seen in Bhagavan. But dear devotees, is this envy inherent in Bhagavan or does he display for the pleasure of his devotees? What is the reason? Pleasure of his devotees. It is not inherent in Bhagavan because Bhagavan samoham sarva bhuteshu, I am equal to all. Acha. Next is violence. Sri Jiva Goswami for this says violence is well documented. I don't need to give praman for that. For everything else, that same Sri Jiva Goswami who gives a praman for everything else, the violence is well documented. I'll give an example. Bhagavan was going to Mathura and there was that dhobi, that washerman. Bhagavan wanted to enter the arena of Kamsa by I'm going to meet a king, I should have clothes of a king. So, hey dhobi, thoda kapda de do. So, dhobi said, hey chal hato. Kaun aaya tum? Who are you? Acha. Dear devotees, at that time, Bhagavan just gave one slap and uninstalled his head from his body. Isn't it? So, हिंदी में उसको when I read the translation है ना हिंदी में ऐसा था भगवान ने उसका सर उतार दिया how do I translate that in English है ना तो भगवान uninstalled his head that is what so this is अच्छा प्रभु are you counting
Yes, 11.
11 okay Prabhu is multitasking Now, 3 more dear devotees. Lying, Anger and worldly expectations. First is, dear devotees, lying. Dear devotees, classic example. All of you please repeat after me. My dear mother, I have never eaten dirt. All my friends complaining against me are liars. Bas. Dear devotees. Everybody else is lying. Yes, very good. In Gopal Champu, is Damodar Leela pastime. All of you must be knowing that pastime. He broke the pot with using a stone, and then all the yogurt spread, and then he was feeding butter to the monkeys. And later Mother Yashoda caught him. So Mother Yashoda, with a stick in her hand, asked him. Shri Jiva Goswami describes in Gopal Champu. She asked him with a stick in her hand, who broke the pot? So Bhagwan's reply, dear devotees, please hear what he said. It was punishment from Paramatma. Acha. Who was feeding butter to the monkeys? He who has created the monkeys is responsible for feeding them. So, simultaneously speaking truth and lies. So a very crooked person. Very crooked person. In this way. Acha. Anger, dear devotees. Before I tell you about anger, a friendly reminder that this person is the Acharya of Bhagavad Gita, who said in the Bhagavad Gita that anger is something which is a very negative quality. Acha, anybody please tell me what is the definition of Acharya?
Teaching by example.
One who practices what he preaches, is it? That is it. So let's see how our Acharya of Bhagavad Gita practiced what he preached in the Gita. Prabhu, please read. What? When Mother Yashoda refused to give him breast milk.
Being very angry and biting his reddish lips with his teeth, Krishna, with false tears in his eyes, broke the container of yogurt with a piece of stone.
Wow, Acharya. Wow, yeah, what Acharya. Wow. Wonderful Acharya we got. Dear devotees. Bhagavad Gita. ऐसा आचार्य होगा तो फिर what to say, dear devotees? See, all of you are laughing, you are smiling, dear devotees. In Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, this is called as Hasya Ras. What is it called, dear devotees? Hasya Ras is one of the secondary rasas described in Shastra. And rasa is all the rasas are present in Shri Krishna. Akhila Rasamrita Murti. Bhagwan is the personification of all the rasas. So, if all of you laughed, dear devotees, to the degree that you experienced Hasya Ras, to that degree Bhagwan was present in your hearts. I hope you are able to understand. Because that rasa, Hasya Rasa, is part of body of Shri Krishna. That humor is part of body of Shri Krishna. Raso Vaisaha, he is rasa. Bhagwan is rasa himself. So, to the degree that you experience rasa, to that degree you are being touched by Bhagwan, dear devotees. This rasa is direct touch of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. Alright, dear devotees, worldly expectations. He also expects so many things. Prabhu, kindly read worldly expectations.
While Mother Yashoda was churning butter, Lord Krishna, desiring to drink the milk of her breast, appeared before her.
Yeah. She was churning yogurt and he got up and wanted to drink breast milk instead of asking politely, Mother, nay. Just directly put his hand on the churning rod. It's a very dangerous thing to do, dear devotees, because the churning rod is spinning with a great speed. Just directly put his hand and stopped it and then immediately demanded, dear devotees. You can imagine what sort of a, how much, Hindi में बोलते हैं ना, लाड साहब, बहुत लाड से बड़ा किया जिसको, बिगड़ा हुआ, है ना? So that sort of a child, dear devotees, he was. Worldly expectations. How many, Prabhu?
40.
All right. Dear devotees, 3 more. Doubts? Worldly indulgence, biased nature. Doubts is ashanka. When Krishna was unable to find the calves and their caretakers when Brahma had stolen them, anywhere in the forest he could suddenly understand that this was the work of Brahma. Acha, has Brahma done it? I hope you are able to understand. Huh? Acha, Brahma. I hope this is called as doubt. Huh? So this is classic example of doubt. Worldly indulgence, Sri Jiva Goswami says he indulges in creating the world through Sri Brahma so many times. He helps Bhagavan Brahma, he helps kill the demons so many times. So those are examples of his worldly indulgence. And biased nature. Is Krishna biased, dear devotees?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Example? Arjun. Okay. Dear devotees, that one verse in the Gita, that one verse where he says, please repeat after me. Samoham sarva bhuteshu. I am equal to everybody. And the immediate next line he says, but. Then why did you say the first sentence if you are? I am equal to everybody, but ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya, if somebody worships me, maite teshu chapyaham, then he is within me and I am within him. Arey wow, what Bhagwan you are, wonderful. How to contradict yourself without finishing the statement? If you want to learn, you can read Bhagavad Gita 9.29, devotees. How to contradict yourself without even finishing the statement. At least you could have contradicted yourself in the next statement. Utna bhi nahi. Don't wait for that. Does somebody have Veda base on their phones? Yes, please take out 9.29. Akhilesh Krishna Prabhu, you have Veda base. Please take out 9.29 Bhagavad Gita. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshosti na priya ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maite teshu cha api aham. This is 9.29 of Bhagavad Gita, and you may see the translation, Prabhu. You have the translation, Prabhu? Yeah, please read the translation, Akhilesh Krishna Prabhu. Let's see how Bhagwan contradicts himself.
I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but
But what? The statement should end there.
whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him.
अरे वाह, एक statement तो पूरा होने देते हैं ना before contradicting yourself. So this is Bhagwan's biased nature, devotees. Prabhu, how many faults? 17, and only one remains, dear devotees. Final fault, dear devotees, is dependence on others. Sri Jiva Goswami says this classic example is when Durvasa Muni offended Maharaj Ambarish, and Durvasa Muni was faced with the Sudarshan Chakra of Bhagwan. He went running everywhere, nobody could save him. Finally he went to Bhagwan, and Bhagwan said something. Please repeat. Aham bhakta paradhina. I am completely under the control of my devotees. Durvasa, you may be having 60,000 disciples, and Ambarish doesn't have a single one. But Ambarish is my pure devotee. So Durvasa, you and your 60,000 disciples, please ask forgiveness from him, because I am completely under the control of my devotees. How many, Prabhu? Oh wow. And minor you can find infinite in Sri Krishna. I hope you are able to understand. Huh? Just as you can find infinite minor faults in human beings, Krishna has accepted which body, dear devotees? Human body. And with a human body he accepts as it is, dear devotees. Sometimes it's described when Mother Yashoda, he was growing up, Mother Yashoda, they were going from Gokul to Vrindavan. They took the road which Sri Jiva Goswami calls Sattikara road. Alright, today it is called as which road, dear devotees? Sattikara road. So they took the road, that road to enter Vrindavan when they migrated from Gokul to Vrindavan. At that time, dear devotees, Sri Krishna was looking at the animals in the forest and asking, which animal is this? What creature is this? Mother Yashoda used to say, that's a peacock. Acha. It has wings? Yeah. Okay. Then he will look at another bird and say, what is the name of this peacock? Hare Krishna, that is not a peacock. Peacock is a type of bird. What is bird? I hope you are able to understand. No? So all these pastimes Bhagavan exhibited with his parents. So many childhood pastimes. Sometimes at the night, in the daytime he would see something, and in the night he would dream about it. And he would start blabbering in his sleep. One time in the day he saw Maharaj Nanda is worshipping somebody. He asked, Baba, who are you worshipping? So Nanda Maharaj said, Arey, don't you know Indra? Who is Indra? Arey, don't you know he is the ruler of Swarga? Achha. Okay. That night he is dreaming that he has become the new ruler of Swarga. There is a verse in Padyavali. Shambho Swagatamasi, blabbering in his sleep. Shambho, welcome, welcome. Sit here on my right hand side. Vamena Padmodbhava, Are Brahma. Welcome, welcome. You sit here on my left. Kronchare Kushalam Kartikeya. I hope you are doing good. Sukham Surapate Indra. I hope you are not very angry with me. Vitte Shano Drishyase Kuber. I didn't see you for long. We have lots of accounting to take care of. In this way, Mother Yashoda said, what nonsense. Shiva sit on my right, Brahma sit on my Sri Rupa Goswami describes. Kim Balakajal. What nonsense you are saying, Krishna? Thu! What happened? What nonsense are you saying? Nothing. So devotees, in this way, every night, some or the other imperfection, devotees. In this way, our Bhagavan shows so many imperfections, but there is only one reason for showing imperfections. What is the reason, devotees? Love of his devotees. That's the only reason, devotees. He shows. Finally, Sri Jiva Goswami says a very wonderful verse, devotees. He says, I worship lust, greed, etc. But not my own, devotees. A very wonderful verse. दान केली कलौ लुप्ता धर्म मर्यादयोर भजे राधा माधवयोः काम लोभ दंभ मदानृतम् Dan Keli Kalau Lupta. Radha and Krishna are engaged in many pastimes such as Dan Keli. Dan is Krishna was asking tax, give tax, There's one pastime, a lot of quarreling between Radha and Krishna took place. Lupta Dharma Maryadayor. They lost all sense of worldly religiosity. Bhaje, I worship that Radha Krishna. Radha Madhavayo Kama. What is Kama, dear devotees? I worship that Kama. Lobha. What is Lobha, dear devotees? Greed. Dambha, that pride, mother, intoxication, anritam, lying, falsities, all those divine imperfections that took place in the past times of Radha Krishna, I worship those divine imperfections. The devotees, here is the translation, Prabhu, kindly read.
I worship the lust, greed, deceit, pride and falsities of Radha and Madhav, who have lost all sense of worldly religiosity while displaying their loving quarrel in the pastime, such as exacting dana, tax, etc.
So devotees, usually lust, anger, greed degrade us in this world, but meditating on Bhagavan's imperfections relieves us of the difficulties of this world. So devotees, please remember, there's one statement said by Sri Rupa Goswami. Please repeat after me. Krishna is perfect in Dwaraka. More perfect in Mathura. And most perfect in Vrindavan. But there is a hidden meaning behind that statement, dear devotees. Please repeat after me. Krishna is imperfect in Dwarka, more imperfect in Mathura, and most imperfect in Vrindavan. Do you agree with me, dear devotees? Dear devotees, these are the imperfections of Bhagavan which he accepts only for the sake of prema of his devotees. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Yadatra skhalitam kinchit vidvam saha purayantu tat. Yadatra saushthavam kinchit tad guroreva me nahi. Yadatra skhalitam kinchit. It is possible I might have made some mistake while speaking. If I have made a mistake, vidvam saha, your learned devotees, purayantu tat. Please correct any mistakes. Yadatra saushthavam kinchit. But if there was anything nice in the presentation, please remember, tad guroreva. It belongs to my Guru Janas, me nahi. It doesn't belong to me. Thank you very much once again, Ram Tulsi Prabhu. Thank you so much, Ramchandra Prabhu, for kindly inviting all of us. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Can we switch on the light, Mataji? Here is the switch. Yeah, that one. All right. Thank you so much. So, do we have some time for Q&A or should we pause here? I think we should pause. Or?
You don't get a chance to hear from you. So
All right. Okay.
we should get
If anybody wants to ask something, we can ask one or two queries and then we can pause for the sweetest part of the program. What is the sweetest part of the program? No, Prashadam. The sweetest part is Prashadam. Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, my name is Shantarupa. Thank you so much for this such a wonderful class.
Yeah.
So, my question is like, as you know, Krishna has taken a human body, as you mentioned, and displayed lots of imperfections, right?
Right.
So we human beings, we do have lots of, anger and all those emotions. And as Krishna has displayed all his imperfections to make his relationship better, with his devotees. So for our pure loved ones, like if we display some of these defects like anger or anything to make them better, do you think is it okay? That is my first question. And how can we discriminate or distinguish whether it is through my pure intentions or with my ego? Whether I'm thinking that uplifting or making them better, I'm displaying my anger. So how can I differentiate that it is doing with the pure intentions or it is with ego?
Mataji, human beings, the human body comes with so many emotions and everybody is bestowed with a different swabhav, a different nature. The important thing is to know what is the priority. Is the priority the benefit of the other person or is the priority expressing one's anger? Depending on what is the priority. Some people express their anger because they want to show the other person, see, this is my influence on you. And some people become angry because they know that a limited amount of anger will change this person's behavior for the better. So there is a big difference in motivation and a third person cannot tell us whether our motivations are correct or not. Bhagavan within the heart knows the motivations of a particular person. So when the motivation is to benefit the other person, that is called a pure motivation. But when the intention is to hurt the other person in such a way that the person will be afraid of us, that is not a very correct motivation. When the motivation is to benefit the other person, that is okay. And so that difference is a very subtle difference, and based on this difference we can understand whether the intentions are pure or not. So I hope that answers your query to some degree of satisfaction. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So, couple of questions. You mentioned that Vedas have no defects.
Yeah.
What defects, one may ask, what defects are found in the Bible and other faiths which also come through God?
Wonderful. That's a very important question. Can we switch on the projector again? It's important to show Praman. Let's hear from the previous Acharyas. What the previous Acharyas say about the uniqueness of the Vedas that is not present in other literature. So, I will pull out the Tattva Sandarbha of Sri Jiva Goswami, and then the Tattva Sandarbha of Sri Jiva Goswami, he has pointed out certain In the Tattva Sandarbha of Sri Jiva Goswami, he has pointed out certain things which are present only in the Vedas but not present in other literature. I will share my screen from the Tattva Sandarbha and I will specify these two characteristics which cause the perfection of the Vedas. Alright. Dear devotees, please repeat after me. Tatastani na pramanani iti anadi siddha sarva purusha paramparasu tatastani na pramanani. Therefore other sources of knowledge are not pramana. They cannot be accepted as valid even if they come from a religious source because of two reasons. Dear devotees, please repeat after me. Anadi Siddha. The Vedas are Anadi Siddha. They were present from beginningless time. If the Vedas were written at a certain point of time, then what about human beings who were present before that time? Those human beings will remain bereft of the benefit of the literature of Bhagavan. Therefore, any valid literature should be present since the beginning of, at least the beginning of human civilization. The Vedas are beginningless. They were present even before human civilization. So the first characteristic of Veda is Anadi Siddha. This happened to me one time. There was a boy in my college I was teaching. He was a Christian. So he came to me and said, "Sir, I would like to ask you something." I said, "What?" You seem to be interested in Bhagavad Gita. You sometimes, I used to wear tilak on certain days. So then I said, if I convince you about the Bible, will you become a Christian? I said, "Sure, but it doesn't work one way." If I convince you, then will you accept Sanatana Dharma? No. I said, "All right, anyways, before you ask something, I'd like to ask a question." I asked him. The Bible was written approximately 100 years or 200 years after Jesus Christ. And the first Bible to arrive in India was around 1500 or 1600 on the western coast of India. For so many centuries, nobody in India heard about the Bible. What happened to those human beings? So, there's no answer. Dear devotees, I hope you are able to understand. This is the first. And second is Sarva Purusha Paramparasu. The Vedas were originally present in all human civilizations around the world. Recently, 2000 years ago, 1500 years ago, some newer religions, forms of religion have come up and covered the Vedas. But originally, if you see what was the culture of those places before these religions came up. For example, Iran was Persia, Zoroastrianism, and Zoroastrianism has many Sanskrit hymns similar exactly to the Rig Veda. Worshippers of fire, Zoroastrians, and they are today in the world. There's only one place where Zoroastrian community exists. Which place is that, dear devotees? India. The only place. So, in Southern America, they used to worship the sun god. In Japan, they used to worship the sun, Surya. Yeah. There's a famous joke about it the Japanese make. When the Christians came for the first time, they said, "We worship the Son of God, Jesus." And they said, "We worship the Son of God, Surya." Dear devotees, so this is the so this is Sarva Purusha Paramparasu. Originally, the Vedas were present in all human civilizations around the world. All of us are children of Vedic literature originally. So because of these two characteristics, Sri Jiva Goswami says nothing can stand up to the Vedas. I hope that answers your query, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
The other question is do not envy Guru, you mentioned, right? Does it only refer to your Diksha Guru? It could be Siksha Guru? It could
Yeah,
be...
any Guru. Any Guru. Acharya Mam Vijay. No, the Acharya is me. An Acharya can be any Guru, Shiksha, Diksha Guru, or In general, one should not envy a Vaishnav at all. Because envying a Vaishnav is one of the 6 Vaishnava aparadhs. And these 6 Vaishnava aparadhs are given in by Srila Prabhupada and the Shastra in purport to Madhya Leela 15.251, but it is also quoted elsewhere. Please repeat, dear devotees. Hanti nindati vaidveshti Vaishnavana abhinandati Krudhyate yati no harsham Darshane patanani shat. Hanti, first is to physically assault or kill a Vaishnava. That is the biggest Vaishnava aparadh. Nindati is to critique him in the hey, don't associate with you know that Prabhu, you know him, huh? Don't associate. He has this bad quality. You know? Nindati, dveshti, or to keep that envy in the mind. Or fourth is Vaishnavan na abhinandati, to not greet a Vaishnava on seeing the Vaishnava. A Vaishnava comes to say Hare Krishna Prabhu. हाँ ठीक है सेवा हुआ कि नहीं I hope it so na abhinandati are you doing your seva nicely or not so na abhinandati one should respond to Vaishnava Hare Krishna Prabhu I hope you are doing good krudhyate to become angry yati no harsham to not exhibit happiness on seeing a Vaishnava these are 6 sources of fall down so dveshti is for any Vaishnava is what is important here.
Which is 2 more.
Yeah.
One was artificial attachment, you said is not there in Krishna. So one pastime came to my mind, and please correct me if that's not the right example, which was the Putana. Putana came, he showed attachment, motherly affection, and then he killed her. So in front he showed that attachment, artificial attachment. Would that be not a right example?
He didn't grab Putana. She was the one who grabbed him and put her breast in his mouth. Bhagwan simply sucked out her life airs. And Bhagwan, even for a moment, did not pretend to drink her breast milk. From the moment he put his mouth on her breast, he immediately sucked her life out. And that's when, in that very room, she started crying. It's not that for 2 minutes, Bhagwan behaved nicely with her and then he started doing his real thing. The moment she put her breast in his mouth, he started sucking her life airs out. So that is what is.
Okay. Thank you. And last question is teaching Indra a lesson. How is that envy? Because when somebody is hurting devotees, you obviously want to protect the devotees.
Yeah.
So I didn't understand that.
Actually, the envy began much earlier when Nanda Maharaj started glorifying Indra Puja. And Bhagavan said, there is no need for Indra. What does Indra give you? Govardhan gives you everything. You can see a lot of that in his behavior at that time. So the conclusion of that is when he said, I'll make him fall down. The boiling point reached when he said, I'll make him fall down. But the displays of envy began not when Indra started attacking the Brajavasis. Displays of envy began when Nanda Maharaj started glorifying Indra. And to become intolerant of somebody else's glories is what is the classic definition of Matsarya, envy. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you. Hare Krishna. All right. Should we pause here, Prabhu, or some other questions? Okay.
Question, Krishna says, Bhagavad Ajopishan Atya Abhayatma Bhutanam Ishvarapishan Samamami Atma Mayaya. So these attributes, the imperfections are contradictory. So is it like, because Krishna, when he spoke Bhagavad Gita, he was in Aksharya, Rup, Aksharya, Bhav, and here it is Madhurya Bhav. So that was the difference.
Yeah. So how can Krishna have simultaneously contradictory qualities? And this is one of the nature of Bhagavan, that Bhagavan has simultaneously opposite qualities harmonized in him. He can display Aishwarya and Madhurya. In Damodar Leela, he displayed his Aishwarya by not letting Mother Yashoda tie him. And at the same time, he got tied up. So he is Sarva Vyapi, all pervasive, and he is Madhyamakar, limited in size. At the same time, in Damodar Leela, there is a very nice verse by Sri Jiva Goswami where he specifies in the Bhagavad Sandarbh. I'll pull out that verse from the Bhagavad Sandarbh where he says, Please repeat after me. Viruddha dharma ruposa Aishwaryat Purushottamah. Viruddha dharma rupa. He has opposite qualities within him at the same time. Right? Many of us know that verse Ugram, Viram, Mahavishnum, Jwalantam, Sarvatomukham, Nrasimham, Bhishanam, Bhadram, Mrityum Namamya. Sri Jiva Goswami, that verse is from Narsimha Tapani Upanishad. Sri Jiva Goswami says we should read further into Narsimha Tapani Upanishad. In that same Upanishad we will find something. What will we find? Hey devotees, please repeat after me. Ugram, Anugram, Viram, Aviram, Mahantam, Amahantam, Vishnum, Avishnum, Jwalantam, Ajwalantam, Sarvatomukham, Asarvatomukham. Same Narsimha Tapani Upanishad. Ugram, he is very fierce as Narsimha. Anugram, as Damodar, he is gentle, timid. Viram, he is very brave. As Narsimha, as Krishna, he is Aviram, he runs away from Kalyavan. The same Acharya of the Gita who said, Yuddhe chapi apalayanam, a Kshatriya should never show his back in a war. Wow, what an Acharya. You shouldn't. Sometimes I really think, Mahantam, he is very great. Amahantam, yet very small. Vishnum, all pervasive. Avishnum, yet localized. Jwalantam, fiery. Ajwalantam, but very cool. Sarvatomukham, everywhere are his faces. But Sarvatomukham, he dare not look at the face of Mother Yashoda when she is angry. So in this way, Bhagavan is the harmonizer of all contradictions. And that quality is present in him. Aishwaryat Purushottam. So I hope that answers your query. Yes, Prabhu.
So before Lord Nrsimha appeared from the pillar,
Yeah.
was he present in any other planets, like his pastimes before him appearing as?
Yeah, in all the universes, pastimes go on. At this particular point of time, is Nrsimhadev appearing in some universe, devotees?
Yes.
Before, because this was Hiranyakashipu saying that I cannot be killed. All these clauses. That's why he appeared with this form. So before that.
Before that, were his pastimes manifest somewhere? Yeah, in another material universe.
But in the same half-line.
Yeah, same half-line. Little changes happen in pastime, but other material universes he keeps appearing.
This question is asked many times.
Yeah, there's a very peculiar point to note here. When Nrsimhadev appears, the Abhishek fast breaking is when? Approximately what o'clock? 7 p.m. which time? American time or Indian time?
Local time.
Wow. So Nrsimhadev appears according to local time, isn't it? How localized Nrsimhadev is, huh? We should celebrate. Nrsimhadev appeared in India, right? It's very important. We celebrate the appearance of Nrsimhadev according to the local time, because even right now Nrsimhadev is appearing in certain universe. Today is also the appearance day of Nrsimhadev. Alright. But for astronomical purposes, we select one day, Nrsimha Chaturdashi, to remember that particular day. But the fact is, even right now he is appearing somewhere. So that is it. Yes, Prabhu. Last query. Yeah.
Vaishnava give people respect and give them honor. But if like a Vaishnava is giving a wrong message, like say for example Rutvik or some other, like the Vaishnava in the form of Vaishnava, but they're not giving the message. Like how come anger or will not come to you?
The thing is, to counteract any wrong position, there is Shastra. And it is our duty to speak Shastra, although there are people who may not speak from Shastra. There are people who speak simply by blaspheming others. But our job is, we should never spoil our tongue by falling on the same level as the other person. Because people who are neutral, they observe. And when they see that both people are of the same degraded level, Then what is the use? One of them may be speaking in a degraded manner, but the other person should in other places speak from Shastra. May not be in front of them, but in other places we should always speak Shastra. And we should always maintain what is austerity of speech. Gita, Sri Krishna describes what is elegant speech that convinces others. Please repeat the devotees. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyahitam chaya swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate. Austerity of speech consists in speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial and not agitating to others, and also in regularly reciting Vedic literature. This is speech that pleases Krishna. At the end of the day, immediate victory or defeat doesn't matter. Our personal conduct is what matters the most, and therefore we should never deviate from the path of Shastra. Because if somebody is blaspheming a devotee or if somebody is blaspheming Bhagwan, we can leave that place. But we should always in our personal life speak from Shastra and not try to settle personal scores. That is the best way to approach this situation. Alright? So I hope that answers your query. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Let's once again thank Hari Parshad Prabhuji.